released No Time to Explain on Steam and Xbox One. Supporting and working with indie developers from around the world. You can follow them on Twitter at TinyBuild. I'd also like to thank Twitch. Summer Games Done Quick 2015 is streamed entirely through Twitch, and 100% of all the subscription revenue goes straight to MSF. Twitch is the biggest live video broadcasting platform for game and community for gamers.
We have a $50 donation from Anders Undheim. Thanks to everyone for making Games Done Quick happening. You deserve a big hug and a pat on the back.
No, with the level where it is, it should be fine.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. We can always get it turned down if not.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's a claptrap.
It's coming out of my left ear. I
Yeah,
love it.
he's right there. See?
Nice.
Well, you probably can't see
I
him.
can. I can
It's
like
on your
kinda see it.
Yeah.
And on your left, there's another claptrap.
Mm-hmm. With along with
See,
the one.
I
in
like
front of
this
it.
interpretation. This is working.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's my couch commentary. Explain the game to you.
Yeah, it's just claptraps on claptraps on claptraps. Yeah, I'm good. All right.
I welcome your attack, fool. What?
Can we turn it down a little?
Yeah.
And the final name is Butt Stallion, right?
What a name.
All right. Gotta look pretty. All right. I'm ready to go whenever. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Welcome to Borderlands: The Pre-Sequel. As the name kind of suggests, it's the sequel to Borderlands 2, but it actually takes place before it. It's kind of crazy. But
Hello, Vault Hunter, and thank you for answering Hyperion summons.
Can we down a little more?
Unfortunately, the Helios space station is currently under attack by insane Dawn military forces.
Much better.
Please take this echo device.
All right.
Now, follow
So
me.
the first thing that I'm going to be doing is dropping my guns because there's loyalty rewards for playing the previous games and having saves on your profile. And since they're tied to your profile, not tied to actually having the saves, it's allowed. And to kind of show what the run is going to do, like a common theme through the run, we're just going to go through just about every wall we can. So
Nice.
it's just kind of, you'll see that a lot. And from here, it's just kind of a standard fight. All right. One thing I also forgot to do is turn off my badass rank. Badass rank is not allowed in new game speedrunning because it gives you bonuses from previous playthroughs. So this is actually a legitimate run, but hey, marathons, right?
Yeah.
All right. And now we're going to be introducing dialogue skipping within the run, which does get a little old, but hey, it's fast, so we use it. So what you have to do there is you have to have your echo log playing before any line of dialogue, and then play it again during that same line of dialogue, and it will skip that exact line. There are more in-depth ways to do that later, but we'll get into that when it actually comes around. All right. One thing you're probably going to see me doing a little bit is drop reloading, just like that. And basically every weapon when it's on the main map is completely full. So you can just press the drop key on your weapon and it will just fully reload. At least most of the time. There are some situations where it doesn't exactly work, but so now just more dialogue skips throughout all of this section.
Holy crap! You saved my life. Thank you.
Didn't work on that one, so we have to kind of wait through this one. So it's kind of unfortunate that it does not work if you mess it up, but
Look, these crazy
you know.
attacked Helio Station right after I sent it for you guys. If we can
Throughout the
only-
run, how many dialogue skips would you say there is?
Hundreds. There's so many. Though you can't skip the animations, so you'll see that I won't always be dialogue skipping, because there are some times where it doesn't actually save time, because it takes time to actually go through and play your echolog a couple times.
And is this like timing based, or is there like a visual cue that you use to know that you're going to be able to get the skip, or?
No, it's all timing based.
Okay.
So you just have to kind of memorize where all the lines of dialogue are and which ones are, you know, which ones save time to actually skip them, and then from there you just kind of perform it. So hope you enjoy the boot up sequence, because it'll be around for a little while. All right, this kind of introduces the first main boss. She's kind of the main antagonist throughout the entire game.
Hey, it's that Colonel. Execute plan to shoot that chick in the head.
Hello, Jack.
So I want to take time to shout out to one of our sponsors, World9 Gaming, the premier computer and console gaming provider for events across the Midwest since 2005. The best gaming experience at the lowest cost for all events, large
Okay,
and small.
That's unnerving. Run!
It's another section where skipping all the dialogue doesn't actually do anything, because Jack still has to walk the entire length of this hallway. And actually, if you skip all the dialogue too early, then he'll actually stop, because he gets a move command from the game early, and it just wastes a bunch of time.
All across Helios.
Nothing, sir. Nothing. Everything's fine. Just one of the claptrap units tried to French kiss a light socket, sir.
Need I remind you that you are there to observe Pandora?
It's a nice looking space station, if I say so myself.
Damages to the Helios space station, I will
Very nice yellow.
You were one of the people to route this game. How hard would you say it was to route?
Oh, it was an absolute pain, because you're always underleveled in the run, and you know, having to do that without any of the glitches that have come out in the past, you know, couple months was just absolutely awful, because you had to route in where you're going to farm and everything like that. But we've luckily been able to get rid of just about every section of farming in the game, other than one big one. And you'll notice right here that I'm kind of killing the fighters before they actually get over land, because the enemies they're carrying will just fall into the death plane. Also, let's make some money. So all I'm doing right here is I'm just selling my echolog and then buying it right back, because for whatever reason on the main characters of this game, the non-DLC ones, you just get $100 for it. So, you know, it's quick and easy.
And there's not a set amount, right? You're just waiting until Jack gets there before you continue.
And it's actually as painful as it looks for the fingers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the menuing in this game, it's insane, man.
It gets a little painful at times, but hey. All right, same deal with this fighter. Spec into our skill, which I missed. There we go. And we're on to the first boss fight of the game, right after this. And basically the action skill that I just spec'd into adds the first main RNG for the run. And because there are about, I think, 7 action packages that you can get, and only about 2 of them are good. You'll be looking for either Mecra Magician or Fun Zerker. Mecra Magician being the better of the 2.
Be cleansed with heat! Kill that guy, I guess?
Now, Mecro Magician, it like amplifies damage, right, while it's active?
Yes. All of the action packages for this character, which is Claptrap. Oh, hey, good RNG, nice. But they all basically are callbacks to the previous Borderlands games, where you've got all of the Borderlands 2 characters represented. And this represents Gage, and she's got a lot of really high damage skills. All right. So with this boss fight, if you kill him early, then you kill a lot of the reinforcements before they even arrive. And if you kill him even faster, then you can kill the fighter that I had there even faster. But it's very, very rare if it actually happens. So the rest of this first part is very slow. There's just a bunch of dialogue skips and kind of making more money and nothing really too exciting yet. This game really starts picking up around the 1 hour mark. From there, it just kind of takes off. Until then, it's a little slow.
Well, you talk about farming money in the early game. What is that money going towards in the late game? Like, what do you need it for?
It's just later in the run, there are definitely a couple guns that you absolutely need to have. And just having a good, solid amount of money keeps it so you don't have to ever worry about money. You know, if there's something that you want to buy, you're never going to be, oh no, I can't buy it, you know. So it's one of those things that just makes the run simpler and much easier.
Right, for sure. And you're doing it in downtime anyways. So.
Yeah, exactly, so it doesn't waste any time. So here I'm going to be introducing a technique called sequence skipping. So basically I'm activating my skill there and then starting the dialogue skip, because if you skip your own character dialogue, then you will skip every bit of dialogue that happens within the first line of dialogue in your ecologue. And as well, I got a good RNG with the action package where I got the meat unicycle. And basically, as you saw, I dropped it and then picked up the axe, which is a little interesting. And that guy liked to pose for you, so don't worry about it. Basically, we need the axes for a glitch later on in the run, so we will get to see that a bunch later. All you need to know right now is that I am just getting as many axes as possible. All right. So the rest of this run is just going to be, or the rest of this early game is just going to be getting a little bit of money and then waiting for the main quest to finish.
We have a $10 donation from Tokyo. Happy to see TFC get a chance to run a Borderlands game at a GDQ. I hope everyone enjoys the run. Love the event so far, and I love all of you.
Love you, Tokyo.
We have a $500 donation from Mangled Pixel 108. Oop. Good luck on the run, FunCannon, and thanks to everyone for a great marathon. We have $50 from Handsome Jack 172. Good luck on your run, FunCannon. I'm donating another $5 for each I can't pronounce this, Vladov reset.
Oh.
I hope the
boy.
RNG is on my bank's good side.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's coming up later.
Yeah. So right after this is going to be a big, long, about minute and a half cutscene, so we've got a lot of time for donations. All right, skip that last one, and we're out of the early game. On to Elpis.
After running this game for so long, like, how impounded in your brain is that boot up sequence startup?
I just try to tune it out at this point. It's just, it's so constant in this game, you know. It's just one of those things you have to deal with, you know.
Yeah, but you probably don't even acknowledge it at this point.
Yeah, you get real good at tuning it out.
It's already just part of your life. There's no escaping it.
I can't escape it.
We have a $50 anonymous donation. Claptrap, start boot up sequence. Directive 1, go fast. Directive 2, donate money to a good cause. Directive 3, dance. We have a $50 donation from Judgy. Hey, Judgy here,
Yo.
taking some time from Breaking Games to mod the SGDQ Twitch chat. Want to wish FunCannon good luck with his run and compliment him on his resilience testing this terrible game when I didn't want to. Happy birthday to Shining Face and in before the Doctors Without Borderlands jokes.
Happy birthday, Shining.
Happy birthday, Shining.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right.
Hello? Hello? Thought you
Wins
might
world
be
record,
selfish.
Shining.
The great thing about being a robot is you're not about to asphyxiate. You okay? Well, you
All
are
right.
at the moment.
So on the moon here, this is where the game kind of starts introducing low gravity. And we actually got a kind of interesting position. That's not normal, but well, I mean it's normal. It's just doesn't happen every time. This game's very silly, so if weird things happen and I don't respond, it's probably normal.
Probably.
I'll let you know if it's new. We'll put it that way.
Over here.
And jumping is actually just slightly faster than walking. It's only about 1%. It's really nothing special, but it is something that you should at least be aware of, because even in a 2-hour game, it's going to add up to a couple seconds here and there. So.
Yeah. And here's also one of those parts that is kind of new, a new mechanic compared to the old Borderlands 2, where you have the outside area in low gravity and also without oxygen.
Eden, do you want to turn on the OT station over there? Because if you don't, Janie will stop and talk about it very briefly, and that obviously loses time. But in outer space like this, grenade jumps become a lot more important. And luckily, I just got one there, so that saves about 15 seconds for that to show up.
Nice to meet you. I'm Janie Springs, jump dealer. Who are you?
I am an experimental prototype known as FR4G.
Oh. So what are you doing here?
There's a
We have a $200 donation from Dr. Love. Took the day off just to watch the pre-sequel run. Shout out to TheFuncannon for pushing the Borderlands community beyond its limits. And of course, everyone at SGDQ for making this amazing event happen. You guys are awesome and I love you.
Gotta be somebody there who can help you. You'll need an O2 kit. Oz kits we call them. To survive.
It's another station you want to power up so that she doesn't talk to you later. Because Claptrap himself doesn't necessarily need oxygen, at least not yet. So it's one of the few advantages that are actually there. And there's one of the biggest examples of a sequence skip there with the bigger dialogue skipping, because there are about 2 or 3 long lines there that just got skipped in one. So there's at least ways to reduce the amount of dialogue and menuing that you have to actually go through.
To repay me for saving your life, you're gonna end someone else's. His name's
And unfortunately right here, we don't exactly have a way to speed this up, because the minute the door opens, Janie Springs kind of starts running down here, and we can't exactly turn on the quest until she gets here. So we wait.
Yeah. And during downtime, you see TheFuncannon use this special ability just to hopefully get one of these axes that we need later in the run.
Yeah, you need about, at minimum, you need about 7 for the run, but
it's good to have padding.
More than that is always nice. Oh, come on. All right, so now we get air boosting, which is essentially a double jump, but it kind of adds a lot of mobility to the run, and you can also slam down on the ground, which in general, the movement is kind of what draws me to this game. It's a very, very different set of movement than everything else, because you see it's just constant grenade jumping, constant air boosting, stuff like that. And one thing that I am trying to focus on is keeping my grenades under half, because if you open a loot source and your grenades are at 1 or 0, if you got 3, then it will almost always show up.
Now for grenade jumping, it's intuitive, right? Like you just throw a grenade, time it, and jump. There's no additional inputs or anything, right?
That's correct. It's completely based off of timing, and once you get used to it, it's pretty much the same no matter what direction you do it or not. Though the later you throw it, the better. It gives you a much better boost. Or the later you jump, rather, is what I meant. So we have to hit the trigger there that moved the bridge up, and then we're going to be moving up to this next section. It's not a speedrun without jumping over some lava. Almost failed it too. Alright. So go for another sequence skip here. And I got an axe at the same time too, so that's really good. Alright. And we're coming up on the second boss fight now. And more jumping across lava as well. And then going into this cutscene, you want to be hitting the jump pad because the game doesn't actually pause during any cutscenes. So all you really have to do is be moving into the cutscene and you'll continue that motion. It's all rendered in real time in engine. So the main goal with this boss is to get up to him as quick as possible and slam him because it'll kind of stun lock him. All right, wow. 2 out of 2 on boss RNG. That's really, really, really nice. Mekuru is the best one you can get for every boss, period. So.
Now, how much would you say RNG comes into play during boss fights? Like, is it possible to lose multiple minutes just because you're waiting for an ability that you don't get, or?
Boss fights, no. I would never say it's multiple minutes. I'd say it's a difference of probably 10 to 20 seconds per boss.
Okay.
It really depends on the situation. It's very variable. So we've got another, one of the first big skips, I guess, of the run, where we're going to be grenade jumping over a large section of the game where you're not supposed to be. So coming up onto this rock here, and then we're going to be jumping across this big pit of lava again. Notice a lot of themes with this run. Just don't look down. Oh. All right. There we go.
We have a $50 donation from Xylus. I've donated the last 3 GDQs. I have to keep up the effort. All these runs have been amazing. I am looking forward to enjoying the rest of the week. Save the animals. It guarantees more money because the killers hate those animals.
All right, so now we've got a car. However, we've got a kind of scary jump. And anyone that has played this game casually or in any sense knows how hard this jump is. If you bounce off the wrong thing, you're dead. They programmed it so horribly. They had to patch the car physics just so that it would actually work. It was awful. But luckily I made it and I didn't die. I was very scared of that one. So we're just heading right back to Springs right now, but then we're going to get to the main hub of the area, kind of where your main base is and where you end up after most sections of the run. And you'll notice right there I did a animation cancel on the car, because if you're in the air when you get out of a car, then it skips the animation. And you can do the same thing by spawning a new car instead of going over there and trying to get in the old one, which also puts it in the right direction to just instantly go, so that's even better. But coming into Concordia here is going to be a lot of just dialogue skipping and optimizing the quests and stuff like that, so it's really not going to be too much exciting.
You have a $30 donation from Kona Riken. Directive 1, protect humanity. Directive 2, donate money. Directive 3, save the animals. No, cancel Directive 3.
All right. So this guy's got an interesting quirk with him. We'll see if it happens.
Just give him the entry papers. Wait, you're in. But I said, oh.
And we got it. So he kind of gets stuck in this animation for no real reason. And he just kind of stays that way until you save quit. It's kind of nice. There's another thing that you can do with him as well. If you sequence skip all of his dialogue, he just kind of vanishes. Oops. Which obviously is not a good thing.
You have a $50 donation from Anonymous. Dialogues and menus, the worst parts of any Borderlands games. The best parts, walking through walls and Claptrap.
Welcome, no city son. Obey my commands.
So yeah, in the earlier Borderlands, the voice didn't really get locked into like an item, and so we couldn't access that. But now it's like in this one item in the inventory, so it's very convenient for skipping.
Yeah. It was a one-use item back in Borderlands 2, so this wasn't an option for that.
retirement plan for my Hyperion from my division. I'm basically his boss. He's pretty much.
So you actually do have to hit that save right there, or else the when you save quit right here, it'll take you all the way back to the start, and that's very, very slow. So it's not very good at all. But more examples of sequence skipping coming up, because there's about like 5, 6, 7 lines of dialogue that we'll be skipping here.
Claptrap, start boot up sequence.
Going right into the cutscene.
Looking for me, sugar?
$50 from Anonymous. So excited to see Fun Candidate SGDQ. Best of luck with the run. Amazing work so far with everything. Everyone. We have $100 from Zero Tolerance for Silence. Woke up at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday for Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Thanks SGDQ and FunCannon for playing one of my favorites. Love the grenade jumping. Who says skill-based movement is dead?
So if you noticed there, when I activated my action skill, the voice of Claptrap didn't instantly go off, which is a bad thing, because it just adds more RNG, because you don't always talk. And that run was kind of bad, so we're just going to start a new one.
Not enough axes.
Yeah, not enough axes.
Not
man.
really,
Gotta
though.
reset.
Basically, what this is doing is it's giving me extra loyalty rewards. It's a glitch where I got them right there. If you start a new game and quit it out, then the game basically just sits there and thinks you're starting a new game, even if you select a different character.
Claptrap, start boot up sequence.
Yeah, Crazy Earl gets around, and he's a useful guy to know. Bring him moonstones and he'll get what you need. What you want? Love that guy. I'll hit your echo with the coords for the towers and manage things from here. When you get the first transmitter in place, I'll make contact. And so that's better.
Okay. And we're gonna kind of break the string of save quitting after putting on all the transmitters and stuff. We're actually just gonna do a sequence skip here because it's slightly faster. Though, bad RNG again. It's only a couple seconds each time, though. It's not anything too bad. So we just need to grenade jump up to here, which is the next part of their game.
So with the save quitting, is it something that you do for movement? Because like when you load back in, you're in a different place, or?
It's a mixture of both, and I actually shouldn't have save quit there. But basically, it does warp you into the most recent save that you had, but it also saves the progress right as is, so that you can pretty much just skip any excess dialogue that's going on or anything. So you're just constantly looking at the quest on the right side to make sure that you're getting the check marks that signify that you've made it to certain ports in the run before you can save quit and get rid of anything excess. Oh, missed that one, but that's fine. Nah, not gonna be able to get that back in there. Also, I need that gun specifically right there because the Jacob sniper rifle has a bonus 160% critical damage added onto it, which will be very important later because, well, we'll see in about 10 to 15 minutes. Basically, I'm going to need about 2 of those, 2 to 3 throughout the run to fully complete the game quickly. All right, this is the last section of all the dialogue and stuff, so it's about to pick up and pace just a little bit. Right after this.
My son would have to bury you alive in a shallow grave.
I just wanted to take some time to mention one of our sponsors, Alienware, the leader in PC gaming since 1996, available online and in stores. Now streaming live gameplay and interviews every week on Twitch. Check out alienware.com.
All right. Coming up here, if you'll notice where the quest marker is, typically in Borderlands games, the main quest is probably the most well-tested part of the game, and it's the most solid. But this game has a couple of exceptions that are both coming up, and essentially, I don't have to go over there at all. The area that you're supposed to go after going where the quest wants you to go is active for whatever reason, and they actually patched it out in a later version, because we are running on a previous patch. But you can just come here early and suddenly you're exactly where you need to be, because the quest just warps here. So, wow. We were getting really good RNG with that, actually. But this is just the basic kind of kill X number of enemies type quest. It's nothing too special. Just kind of optimizing it as much as possible. I don't need to kill every single one in that one, so we're just going to move on to the next area. There's more than enough enemies that spawn to finish everything. Okay, I grabbed that shield, that's good. This weapon from Deadlift, when we picked it up, we picked it up for a reason. It does a lot of damage when you throw it, since it's a TDR weapon, which the reloads are thrown instead of just manually reloaded. So that weapon in particular is one that you're going to want to look out for, and where we tend to use it. All right, so save quit once we're done there, because it warps us back down to the start. There's another Jacob sniper, which is what we want. So I've got all the snipers that I need. And unfortunately, this time we do actually have to go over where the quick game wants us to. And talk to this claptrap that's hanging out over here.
That random little spin out was a perfect example of how terrible this vehicle is.
Oh god. They somehow made them worse from Borderlands 2. I don't know what they did, but it's worse.
You have proven yourself worthy, and your initiation is nearly complete.
Especially since how the terrain is so bumpy. You know, I almost went sideways there. There's just no good way to control everything. Animation cancel there. And we'll just get to the next area. Though coming up, there's going to be a big new movement thing we're going to be doing with these jump pads that we've been kind of prevalent. So if you get a grenade jump off of the jump pad, then you get a lot of extra momentum, and you go much, much further. Probably saves at least 5-10 seconds each time you do it. Well, as long as it moves forward. And you'll see a lot of really cool applications for that type of jumping here soon. All right, we're on our way to fight the next set of bosses here. They're the people that are going over commentary and kind of heckling, so they're a lot of people's favorite bosses by far, just for the commentary alone.
Do you have a favorite boss in particular that you like, whether
These guys, definitely.
Okay.
that includes me. All right. So just jump across the lava, another theme. It fits. But coming up right here is the next and last time that we'll be ignoring the quest and going ahead of where you're supposed to at that point. Because it tells us to be at the door over there, but I don't actually have to. So we're just going to kind of run over on this side of everything and hit a spawn trigger for a couple enemies that is right inside this building. Which fortunately also has a save point just in case something goes horribly wrong, which it almost never does, but you know, just in case. The last save point you hit before that is at the very start, so any death is going to cost about a minute, if not more. All right. There you are.
So that's actually another good action skill for fighting these minions.
Alright. Ow. Let's hopefully not die here. Nope, we're good.
Nice.
There we go. Alright. Don't care about that guy. He's not important. Don't need anything there. Nothing that was actually in that vendor, at least. You have to be very, very quick on your feet for vendors because there's always a lot of information that's thrown at you with the vendors, and you have to be able to process exactly what weapons you want and everything like that to be as quick as possible. There's another boss that you want to try and stunlock, because if you keep him on this platform here, then he'll cycle much quicker in between phases. And this is another time where I've gotten Mecharo, even though I now died, or at least I'm down. And I might have actually died. Yep.
Yeah, oh.
There we go. First death. But that was just unfortunate. There's really nothing I could have done there. Because, unfortunately, the developers like bullet reflection. And the players don't. Okay, we at least still got good RNG on that. Where is... He's got to be somewhere. I hope. There he is. He's hiding from us. There we go. Finally. Alright, so now we can just grenade jump into this window because, I don't know, it's faster than going through doors. Except for this door. Alright. So the last thing we have to do in this area is just kind of break these three these consoles, and then we can move on.
Stop pounding the moon with a giant freaking laser. Are you totally insane?
We have a $50 donation from Commando Delta 68. Hey, loved everything so far as always. I've beaten pre-sequel so many times. I'm so excited to see it destroyed. Donating towards one of my favorite games of all time. I want to see Link in those pajamas. Thank you guys for such an amazing event and such a great cause.
All right, well, next section is going to be very story heavy, so there's a lot of time for donations. A lot of waiting around and just kind of hoping that it moves on as quickly as possible. Right. However, I will be doing a dialogue skip here, again using the priority system of the game, because the game it takes priority with certain sets of dialogue. If it's already running, it doesn't want to skip it, but certain dialogues will still have the priority over it. And luckily, the quests, like side quests, have priority over main quests if they're played first and only in that situation. So I skipped all of that story dialogue just by accepting a quest. And then save quitting there brings them directly into this elevator. If I get a certain action package here, well, I got the one I wanted, but any other one, you can sometimes throw them off into the void, and if they hit a death plane, then they'll actually die and give you a recharge on your skills, so you can get 2 in 1. And this is a really good area to do so. Concordia is also a very good place for axes. It's got a very high chance, because it's not exactly random. We don't know exactly how it works, but it does have manipulatable elements. it was designed to be that way. And just more used to the Vandergraffen here.
No tours today, sorry. Please exit through the gift shop, alright?
He's just juking. Anyways.
I'm not here. I left the building. That's what I did.
Probably the nicest thing about this area is just how solid it is. You know, it's so hard to get out of bounds. Everything's just completely real. Don't have to worry about, you know, accidentally seeing outside, you know.
Completely rock solid programming.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with this game.
And it gets better. It gets better the farther we get in the run, right?
Oh yeah, it gets better and better.
And they really haven't learned from Borderlands 2, so grenade boosts out of bounds still the thing.
The best part is you don't actually need a grenade to get out of bounds in this area. So there you don't even have that excuse. Oh, yeah, I guess I can go on there. Alright, so that's about the only dialogue that you can actually skip in this section. The rest is just, there's just so many animations going on that it's just not going to save any time to do so. So we get a nice free reign to kind of do whatever. Like fun things like this. They just put ceilings over ceilings that are not ceilings. You know.
We have a $100 donation from Philly Vinyl. Hey, it's wonderful to see a Borderlands game at a GDQ once again, and who better than the best Borderlands runner there? Good luck and destroy your PB.
Thanks, Philly.
We have a $50 donation from Polite Punk. First time on GDQ, started with The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Very cool. Save the animals.
Alright, once we skip one line there, then we can move on. If you don't skip that one line before you leave, you have to watch the entire cutscene and end of that area again, so it's a really big time loss if you're not sure that you skipped it. And here's an unskippable dialogue, but luckily we need to grab this quest, so it's not too bad. The reason we're grabbing that quest is because it gives us a healing weapon, which will be very important very soon as well. All right.
Get going. I'll explain on the way.
Now we're going to be going and getting the second type of vehicle, which kind of adds the element of flight, which helps a lot in a lot of situations. And if vehicles were in more situations, the Stingray here would allow us to clip into a lot of areas. But it's also very securely locked. If you hit it with your car, it opens. But you unfortunately still have to, you know, put in the code.
Can't go through the door without putting in the code.
Yeah, it's good. It's also a nice code. I like that code.
Into the production model. They deny it though. Plug in here, that's it.
Right.
Now just order yourself up a stick.
So there's the next little car. It is slower, but because you get to go over a lot of things, it's sometimes better.
Now get your backside to see Pickle. Though feel free to get a feel for her first. See what she can do. Now you're on a Stingray, you can jump that, no worries. Probably. Nice. I've told Pickle you're coming.
We have $10 from Peking Boo. Hi guys, quick hello from the western borderlands of Australia. Taking the week off to watch these great games and awesome runners who have been an absolute blast so far. Special shoutouts to Ray's Fire on the Couch and good luck to all the runners of their games.
I've seen you fight, and I respect your skill. If you agree to leave now, I will send you an interstellar ship.
Alright, so we're going to be kind of skipping a bit of this area with this jump here. And kind of walk, well, give me a second. Walking on this little thin platform type thing. Rocks, mountain, whatever it is. But it's just the fastest way to get through this area.
Hey, it's Jack, right?
And with your grenade jumping, the oxygen actually allows for more air control, right? To allow you to maximize distance and things like that?
Yeah, you want to be air boosting at the, basically at the height of your jump, so that most of it's in forward momentum, not necessarily in upward momentum. And now for everybody's favorite character. I know a lot of you are looking forward to it.
Things they got over there look bang tidy.
Luckily, we do get to skip a lot of his dialogue, but you do have to deal with Piccolo a little bit.
If the price is right.
You say deal with him like you don't want to talk to him.
Alright, got even more access. The RNG of this run has been phenomenal so far. And a nice little, small little time saver here. If I can get it, there we go.
Let's carry that RNG over to the guns later on.
Let's hope so. That is still a potential problem.
The Drakensberg's a juicy wreck, all right. X-style frigate, don't you know? But it's stuffed with tech.
It's just another big area of just optimal grenade jumping and stuff like that to do it as quickly as possible. Gonna be doing a big grenade jump pad right here. There we go. That was actually a really good one. I might overshoot it, actually. Wow. That was the best one I've ever had there. So we're just going to jump around this building because it warps the quest forward and makes it so that you don't have to hit the save point, which is also very important. You can actually jump around both sides of the building, but jumping around on the left is not only faster, but you do skip the save point on that one. So the death warp that we'll be doing here in just a second will be much more effective.
I was totally wrong, which is super normal.
There's bad RNG. It's not terrible, though. It's only a couple seconds lost each time you get a Fun Zerker. Outside of the first fight, there's really no reason to be getting Fun Zerker. However, that's the type of launcher that I want, but it's the wrong level, so it's kind of useless, actually. Unfortunately.
So like you're talking a lot about like levels and specific types of launchers and stuff, and I know brands of or manufacturers of weapons have special attributes to them, but like what do you really look for when you're looking for new weapons?
It definitely depends on the situation, but here in the early game, you really don't need anything in terms of weapons. There's, you know, you've got the bullpups. That's all you really need. But coming up soon, there's going to be a lot of launcher usage, and you need any Vladov manufacturing launcher at level 10, and then you need any other type of launcher that is not Vladov. So we'll be looking for that here after the next area. Tons of fun. It's the only time that you have to actually grind your face against the vendor to make sure it actually gives you what you want.
Just wanted to remind everyone that SGDQ 2015 is streamed entirely through Twitch. 100% of all subscriptions revenue goes straight to MSF. Twitch is the biggest live broadcasting platform and community for gamers.
All right. So we're going to be getting another bullpup here with the glitch that we did earlier. And so we're just going to save quit here and start a new game, but then quit out as soon as possible. Same as last time. You select your character, and we'll go. So here's where the axes start coming into play, where they're going to play a much bigger part. And it's going to go by a little fast, but I'll try to explain it as best I can. So basically, you can re-equip these axes, switch to any other weapon, and then equip any other weapon, and suddenly you kind of have this weird hybrid that, I mean, it's a little different. it's a very pretty gun, and totally has a working scope. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But basically what that's giving me is it's transferring the critical modifier of the sniper onto the shotgun. So basically I have a new shotgun that's 4 levels higher than my last one, and then it's also got an extra 160% crit on it, which is huge for this part of the run because you're so underleveled, it's just vital to your survival. we used to do this section of the run at level 10, but with the way merging actually came into play, it just came so much better to actually do it at lower level. And we've got some friends that will follow us to the ends of the earth and try and kill me, and sometimes succeed because you'll see them probably for the next 20, 30 seconds. They don't give up. Their range is ridiculous.
Now about the weapon merging, that's one of the reasons that you're playing on an older version, right?
Yes, it was patched out in patch 1.0.5, and so we play on 1.0.3 because it's the most accessible and has the best glitches just overall. It's also why we're playing on Claptrap, because as much as everybody loves Claptrap, he is faster because he is the only person that has access to this glitch. So he's the only person that can have infinite ammo. He's the only person that can have additional critical damage and stuff like that. You can trade them to other characters, but that requires, other characters to actually be in the game. So a co-op run or anything like that. So overall, Claptrap's just your best solo option. Alright. This is probably one of the scariest areas in the run. Making out of here with one death will be phenomenal, honestly. Hang on, let me see if I can get some good stuff, which I did actually get some good stuff. That class mod is what I want because it gives me extra fire rate, which is really, really important. And the shield is much better than my last one, so I need to grab that for survivability.
Best people working on a way to retake the station.
That's the Hyperion CEO. Is he as much of a bottle and glass arse as I hear?
Who the hell is that? That is the 10-year-old boy we hired to help us. Fire John.
How dare you board my vessel after all my polite warnings? Prepare to die.
The person talking right there is the boss of this area, and he's a little different. You can definitely say that about him. But as you can kind of see, this area gets very, very hectic very, very quickly. It's probably the place where you can lose the most time in the run, just because of all the things that can actually happen. You can just get overwhelmed with enemies. They can spawn with bad weapons. At this point in the run, enemies can actually spawn with launchers, which is very dangerous, being 5 levels under. It's a very scary situation. Did I actually? No, there it is. Just waiting for that. Oh. This is bad. Well. Yeah, that was basically unavoidable. The longer you're in Fight for Your Life and the more times you go down, the quicker that the timer will run out. So that's something you have to be very conscious of when you're doing pretty much everything, is you have to make sure that you haven't gone down too much.
Now, is that like per area, or is that throughout the entire game? Or
it resets at certain points. Typically, it's when you get a full heal, or if you pick up health kits. But it doesn't always work that way. I don't know. There are potential problems with it.
That's unfortunate. Oh, nice.
There we go.
Nice.
It's just such there's so much going on in that room. It's the place that you expect to die, basically.
I mean, but still, one death is expected. But
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can deal with that.
It wasn't in the worst place, but it means that I missed all my dialogue skips there, so that did cost probably about 30, 40 seconds.
Oh, get your peepers on that. Hello there, shiny confetti. Fancy meeting you here.
I don't have to go super fast right here because I do have to wait for some of this dialogue to stop before the next thing I can do.
We have a $50 donation from Combat Chris. My wife and I set an alarm to wake up for this run. We are huge fans of Borderlands and the huger fans of TheFuncannon. Happy to see everyone's favorite broken RNG series at a GDQ, and even happier to see such a worthy cause. Go fast, skip dialogue, and drop axes.
Alright. Oh, come on. Alright. This is another room where you can definitely die very easily, but it's a little less risky, for sure. Because the enemies aren't nearly as condensed, which is a good thing.
It's all great. Of course I know.
So now we want to move on to the next objective before we get there and take out as many enemies as possible along the way. That way I don't ever get overwhelmed. And I'm in a good spot to do dialogue skips and stuff like that.
I'm there, lady. There's a yellow box. There you go. You know what to do.
Start boot up sequence.
What the hell are you doing? Good work.
Nope, too much.
Leave that alone. Fault ass pain.
No, I can't get that one. It's not a big deal for small dialogues like that. There's also one that doesn't matter too much, but if I miss the next couple, then those cost a lot more time. No, actually that's fine. Just had to get up there. So from here on out, none of the dialogue is worth skipping because it's all just in the animations going on with the engine there. So we can't, just need to survive now, basically.
We have a $50 donation from Cake Town. Just discovered you guys for the first time in the middle of a binge watching session. Keep up the good work. Donation to 100% Chrono Trigger run. Gotta drag it out.
You're on your own, Full-Timer. I've got fresh loot to sort. Head back to the core system room. We'll take care of the Bosun's force field when you get
There we go.
there.
Alright, made it through there with no deaths, so that's really, really good. And coming up is probably one of the harder bosses of the game. He gets really hyped up, and it's all true. And by that I mean it's not even close to true. he's yeah. Well, you'll just see.
Because it kicks so much ass. Get it? Get it? Well, you're gonna. Sweetie pie, open up the door.
And we won. All right.
Sorry. Did you want me to keep them open too?
Oh, come on. So I guess now, since it just happened, is a good time to mention some of the changes that came into this game in terms of elements, because in Malon weapons and, I mean, I guess in overall just weapons in general, they added cryo instead of slag, which slows you down and increases melee and explosive damage to you. So it's obviously very bad for a speedrun to get any enemy with a cryo weapon to spawn, because it will drastically slow you down. And that is not a very good thing. But here's the real boss, and this is actually a very potentially stressful part, depending on where the reloads go, because I need to be using this weapon for the final time. Gets its last use. Oh, nice. Got the elevator skip.
Now I'm really pissed off.
But this is probably the point where you stop being scared of the game after this boss fight. So as long as this goes well, then I'll be happy. So as you can see, it does a lot of damage to this boss, just getting all the reloads right in his face.
So yeah, this boss has a shield that we have to break first, and then we can deal damage to him. And he's constantly recharging that shield.
Alright, I need to get up off of these things, and then I need to switch back to this weapon. Alright. I should, yeah, there you go.
Nice.
He's dead. All right, run gets a lot easier from here, and a lot more exciting as well. Well, it gets exciting after something else, because we do need a lot of new guns after this. So that's going to be our fun here in the next couple minutes, is hopefully getting the weapons that I want. So you can just save quit back to the beginning again. Okay. I guess I really don't need that many X's, so we're good. I've had really good RNG with getting those. So right now it's just going to be checking vendors to make sure I get what I want, which I just sold one of the weapons that I would have liked, but it's too high level, so it's not one of those things. So again, I am looking for a launcher that is really high damage and a weapon that is a Vladov manufactured weapon. So
it can take a few minutes.
Yeah, there's the launcher that I want. And it's just one of these things where you kind of have to go by the weapon parts and really memorize those to really see what you want and what you don't want. So this can take anywhere from the next 5 seconds to, you know, a minute or two. So that was a good time for donations.
We have a $50 donation from, let's see if I can pronounce this, Ikeme Kim 47. Hey Funcannon, I remember trying to run this game when it first came out, looking forward to sweet revenge on RK5.
All right, so we got the weapon that I wanted, so we can move on from here. It almost never takes that long, especially since there's a vendor that close. And one of the really nice things that this game did is that all the vendors scale to you. In Borderlands 2, it did not do that. You basically had to go to an area that had similar weapons to you. So at a certain point in the run, you would just stop finding good gear, and you just have to stop. But in this game, you can always find something new. Vendors are always just right next to you in terms of level, which is a very nice change, and I hope they keep that one in for any future stuff. All right, there we go. And we have to wait for this train here. You can actually get into the area a little early, but it's not useful in any way because the quest doesn't go forward at all, so that's a bit of a problem if you try and do that. So now I'm going to be setting up infinite ammo, which I did just right there. I'll explain it a bit more, though, because essentially what you're doing is the Vladov rocket launcher consumes reduced ammo per shot. It says that on the card there. And what that means is that it's got a -1 programmed into every second or third shot. I think it should be every other shot. And that shot does not consume ammo. So basically what happens is that that -1, when you merge the weapon into any other weapon, then it becomes, like that -1 goes onto your character, and then you can reduce all your ammo consumption by 1. So anything that consumes 1 ammo doesn't consume anything, and that's really good. And I also merged the probe that I got from the quest a little while back, because it adds healing onto my launcher as well. So basically I've got this infinitely firing, infinitely healing shotgun, or launcher rather, that kind of makes the game a bit easier.
A little bit.
In this area, basically, my main goal is to get through the area as quickly as possible, while also killing as many of these torque enemies as possible. Because as you can see, I'm just kind of turning around and firing for about a second and getting a couple hundred experience. And that really helps the experience routing for this game very much. Because essentially you need to be a certain level by the end. It's just, you have to, or else you're just going to get murdered by the final boss. You're already like almost 10 levels under, so anything less than that is just not, you can't do it. Not very easily, at least. But so the experience route is very tight, even though there's not really a lot of farming necessarily. A lot of run and gunning is kind of the goal for this run. So right here, this is a scripted fight, so I do have to actually kill these. I'll be looking for a check mark from the quest to let me know that I've killed all the torques that I need to move on. There it is. So now we just kind of move on to the next areas. There's a lot of dialogue skipping that's going on just by playing the game quickly. If just kind of going through it fast manages to skip a lot of the dialogue for you, which is very nice because then we don't have to listen to the boot up sequence nearly as much. So, you know, that helps. We get enough of that already.
These cables must be connected to
Oh,
a
come on.
master fuse box somewhere. Follow them. They should lead the way out.
And this is kind of the point in the run where things really start to speed up. So you'll start seeing a lot more out of bounds. You'll start seeing a lot more kind of flashy tricks and stuff like that.
From here on, all walls are suggestions and illusions.
Basically, yeah. If you want to go somewhere, you can probably go through something to get there. And the first example of that is coming up right now.
Have helped run a scat gang.
Because there's a big scripted fight right here, and the exit is right there, but that's kind of slow. So we're gonna kind of, you know, just go over it. There we go. Let's get a grenade up on top of this little wall here, and then we're gonna come over here and hit a save point here, and then do a death warp through the wall. Because there's no other way back in bounds once you're out of bounds here. But luckily there's a save point, and you can just kind of go through that way. Alright. You also probably noticed that I've been a lot more attentive to my skill points, because the first 5 that I had to use were just completely kind of filler. They don't really do a lot. While the one that I'm speccing into right now gives me a lot of fire rate, which is much, much more useful and much more vital to doing as much damage as possible. Alright, there we go. However, I actually may... No, I'm good. Okay. There's a potential for death there. Unfortunately, right here is the longest section of dialogue skipping in the run. So, buckle up.
We have a $50 donation from Marius. Everyone's favorite NPC. I did not see Tiny Tina anywhere. Money goes to that 100% Chrono Trigger run. Keep up the good work.
What? Ooh, constructor.
$10 from Anonymous. Sitting in a lecture at university, and half the people in the room have the stream open on their laptops. Keep up the good work.
Alright, so that's the last one I have to do there. So we're just good to wait for him to open the door now. Before we actually finished, figured out dialogue skipping and exactly how it works, there was a strat that saved like 5 seconds here, where instead of waiting through the long-winded dialogue there that takes like a minute or two, it's just ridiculous how much time it actually takes. There was a double grenade jump out of bounds that if you went too fast, you'd manage to soft lock. So it only saved about 5 seconds, so it was just kind of a swag strat that was fun to do. But then we actually figured out dialogue skipping, and now I can't do it anymore, so, you know. Oh well. So, this next area is where the first, or the only section of farming for experience is going to be. But it's very, very quick, and it goes by in a blink of an eye, really and truly. You need to die. There we go. Alright. We have to do a few things first before we can actually farm that experience, but it'll be pretty quick.
So, this is the birth
Nothing
canal
I
of
want
my
in
new
that vendor.
robot army, huh? Yeah, this is where I was doing most of my work before the scavs came and forced me to be their medic. We'll need to clear the area of them before getting to work.
There you are. Oh wow. I get the good one and then it's instantly gone. Luckily though, if you go down in this game into fight for your life and then get back up, it actually gives you a reward for getting up, and it gives you a 50% damage bonus every time that you get up, which is very, very useful. So just because you go down, especially on Claptrap, it's not actually necessarily bad. It can give you actually a little extra speed. It's better on Claptrap because when he goes into fight for your life, you can actually fire almost immediately. So you lose almost no time for going down. In fact, you probably save time most of the time. Okay. Still nothing.
First thing we need to do is restore the main power. Head over to the breaker room and see what's what.
I'm always looking on the lookout for new launchers because the more that you can actually, the better launcher you can find, obviously, the faster your run's going to go because you just do more damage. In the same vein as the fight for your life bonus, there's also level up bonus, which is actually double damage for the same 30 seconds, which is also very, very important. Though not nearly as such because you only get it a couple times in the run. And only in certain places that don't necessarily help. You can kind of clip those guys underground. Doesn't actually save time or do anything special, but you know, it looks kind of cool.
Just because you can.
Yeah, may as well. All right.
Next up, head to the Oculus lab. I'll walk you through the process. It should already be set up. Okay, just place the pieces in that converter over there. It'll melt down the raw materials and form the prototype eye.
An eye converter? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Why the hell would they make an eye converter?
They didn't make it. I did. I was here for a long time.
I'm not picking up that Oz kit even though it actually makes me move faster if I have it. Mainly for two reasons. One, I already have one for later. And two, the way I've got my inventory sorted, which is done specifically so that the menuing is much faster. Basically, the Oz kits and class mods and grenade mods as well take priority. So anytime those are a thing, you really just don't want to be picking them up because it just clutters everything up so much. You can still deal with it, but it's just one extra button to push. Wow, I actually got a sequence skip there off of the minions dialogue there because its dialogue counts the same way. So that's really, really nice when it happens. It's very rare. And I'm actually leaving the area and coming back in because it does the basic same thing as save quitting, where it saves your progress and gets rid of anything excess. So it warped the body that I was just working on there and moved it all the way up here, which saves probably 10, 15 seconds. And here is the big farming section. We need to hit about 13 3/4, give or take, by the end of this. And it's a very fast farm because the game just throws hordes and hordes of enemies at you because you're supposed to be calibrating these turrets or whatever. And we like to steal kills a little bit. However, I'm going to give a couple to him at the start so that it starts spawning more enemies, because when it hits 4 and 8 respectively, it will start spawning more and more enemies. So the faster I can get it to 4, the faster the high experience enemies start really spawning. So now we can really start leveling up and get the experience. And luckily, Gladstone also doesn't talk the entire time. He will quit here in a second.
Just wanted to take some time to mention one of our sponsors, Humble Bundle. There's a pay-what-you-want bundles to support charity. Humble Bundle offers bundles for video games, mobile, ebooks, comics, and the Humble Store. Humble Bundle has raised over $61 million for charities such as Doctors Without Borders and many more. Visit them at humblebundle.com.
Here, once I hit level 13, I'm actually going to let it run up to about 8 so that it can go even faster. I just don't want to let it get too far too fast, because if it finishes and you don't have enough experience, there's no backup for it. So you need to make sure the turrets do not get to 12 before you're ready for them. Or you just can't finish the run very well. You probably can, it's just going to be much, much slower. I'm going to kill the badasses mainly until it hits about 8, since they're the high experience targets. But we're almost done, so we'll be back to the regularly scheduled programming here in a second.
We have $10 donations from Zelfan. The East Coast doesn't sleep. We are here for you. Hype Borderlands. Kill the animals.
It would be nice if I could find a launcher in this, but that will probably not happen. It's very rare when it does. All right, that's plenty of experience now, so we can just let it finish up. Hopefully. There we go, finally. Kind of clear this out, and we're good to go. So, again, this is where the game starts to fall apart a little bit, and the walls are kind of not there. You can just kind of leave if you don't want to. There's supposed to be a wall in your way, but that's too slow. I don't like to wait. Going fast is much more fun. And you may be saying there's a wall in front of me there. And you're right. But don't worry. That's not a problem either. So we're trying to get this suit here into the main area. And all we have to do is hit this button, and then I can check the chests that are right over here and hopefully get a good weapon, but that is not guaranteed.
His body feels strange. Arms, legs. Is this what it's like to be human? This is the worst.
Nice. All right. It's completely unusable. If you fire a Vladof rocket launcher after getting infinite ammo, actually if you even bring it out, or if an enemy brings it out, then you lose your infinite ammo, so it's just not something that's usable. So that's kind of a slap in the face right there.
It also makes badass enemies more dangerous down the line because they can shoot their Vladof rocket launchers, and you can just be left in a situation where you just can't fight back.
And Felicity doesn't care about the wall there either. It's just more of an inconvenience and a suggestion than anything. So that's pretty much the big reason why that skip even works, because otherwise we'd probably just soft lock knowing this game. Not to say that there isn't potential to soft lock still, because there is.
Oh, I hope you didn't have a family.
It is very easy in Borderlands games. I may be dead here. Unless, there we go.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice. Buttercup, you turned all those scabs into puddles.
I did, didn't I? Everything's lost like tears in a puddle.
All right, final fight, and we can move on, well, I guess to the next fight. I don't know. It's a lot of just going from fight to fight at this point in the run. So one thing that I can talk about now that I'm 14 is I'm speccing into this skill right here, which gives me the action package Gun Wizard, which increases your fire rate by a massive amount. And something that the community as a whole has noticed is that if you, whenever you spec into an actual new action package, where it's completely something that you haven't used before, it's more than likely going to happen the first time you actually use your action skill again. So I don't want to be using my action skill at all until the next boss fight coming up, because it'll most likely give me this Gun Wizard, which, since it gives you such an increased amount of fire rate, it just makes the boss fight trivial. It's more of an afterthought than anything. And now that I have that Oz kit equipped as well, I should be slamming every time I end a jump. That way I can get bonus movement speed as well, because that is the specific type that I have equipped. Nice.
Rotate the rails around. Head into that office and use the controls to get things moving again.
Oh, nice. He cried himself, which takes bonus damage from explosives, so he kind of died kind of fast.
Let's do this.
Wait, I don't want to have my memory wiped. I don't want to turn into
Ooh, that's a full upgrade. Very nice. Right before the boss fight too.
Exactly how long will it take?
Just in time.
Couple of days at the absolute most.
Too long. Sarpedon will have popped the moon like a zit by then.
So, unfortunately, this kind of shows where Jack is starting to show his bad side. He's kind of being immoral, so we have to kill our friend that we just made, unfortunately.
Military stuff. Anything that can help us in a fight. Trash the rest. Felicity, I'm sorry.
With any luck, though, I will get the Gun Wizard, and this will be a very, very quick fight. It should take less than 20 seconds.
If hate is all you want, that's what you'll get.
And here it is. Right on cue. So as you can see, you start doing a lot more damage. And she just kind of melts. Because it kind of shows you the power of infinite ammo in this game, and how balanced around reloading the game actually is. Alright. Can check these chests, and hopefully to get something good, but does not seem to be anything I want. And that's just one of those examples that shows you how fast you really have to be able to recognize the good and bad weapons to really go quickly in this game. So now you kind of come back to Concordia, and Jack and Moxie come and try and congratulate you and reward you with these weapons and shields. And the only thing you want is the shield, because whenever you hit a certain amount, then you actually get a booster that increases your move speed and fire rate, which are both very, very good for speedruns. Also, that's a good glitch right there. That's now gone, but had a friendly little launcher floating out in front of me. It just happens. I don't know why. It just does.
What she said. Let's be heroes.
It's completely visual. It's just one of those quirks, I guess. All right, so on to the next area.
Where is everybody?
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to slam a lot for movement speed here, because it's not actually full anti-gravity right now. When you're inside, it's typically lesser gravity, and then it's more so when you're outside. And this is kind of a space station floating around Helios, or Elpis. We're on Helios, but yeah.
Well, I see when you're in the shops and you're looking for shields and you're looking for weapons that you don't ever take a look at the grenade mods. Does it mess with the grenade jumping or?
Yeah, you cannot grenade jump if you've got a grenade mod on. There's no way to do it. They also clutter up your inventory, so that's another reason that you don't even touch them. But you do need the base grenade mod to actually do grenade jumps. So another big fight section here. Which, in theory, we could actually skip this entire section if we could clip into Jack's office early. But the unfortunate thing about this game is, as not real the walls really are, they actually tested the main quest pretty well. There are very few places in terms of getting into an area early that you actually can, because even if you can get close, they just put the loading zone in a box that's just completely impenetrable. And since we don't have a reliable clipping method, there's really no way to actually get through it and into any areas early, even though you would probably just soft lock, because the quest system is just that kind of quest system for this game, for these games in general. Speaking of soft locks, there's a potential one here, where if I kill the enemies too quickly, then the dialogue just kind of skips itself in a bad way, and the claptrap just kind of stands in the corner and doesn't do anything. So that's a really big problem if it happens. But as long as I wait for this next dialogue line right about here, and then kill the enemies, then it won't soft lock. So it's one of those examples of going too fast in a speedrun, you know, as weird as it sounds. So he would typically stop right about there and walk all the way back if you got it, but looks like we're fine. Alright. It's actually kind of bad, but this skill does less damage than others, but the good thing is that dropping the axe actually increases your DPS, believe it or not. You still get the melee damage bonus that you're supposed to get from that skill, but it doesn't have a ridiculous fire rate reduction that's on the axe itself. So dropping the axe is actually faster, whether or not you actually need it or not. Though it is a lesser action skill that you don't necessarily want to see once you start getting the number of axes that you really need for the run. And we're apparently a racist hot dog now, so. Here's some quality dialogue lines for sure. Alright, so now we just have to wait for this section to finish, because there's a lot of animations again going on that is really not necessarily skippable. Plus there's some dialogue lines that just can't be skipped, which is kind of weird. I don't know why certain lines aren't skippable, but they just take priority over everything sometimes. All right. So all we're going to do here is turn on the fast travel, and we're just going to leave because it gives us the check mark instantly, and head to research and development, which is again where the game starts falling apart. If you like the whole is this wall real game, well, we're going to be playing a whole lot here in a second. Spoilers. The answer is no, it's not.
Why don't you just not destroy the moon and kill hundreds of innocent people?
Hundreds now to save millions later.
Oh, that's bad.
My name is Zarpedon.
If you get that this action skill with a rocket launcher, it's very, very bad, because if you ever run out of ammo, then you can't actually fire anymore because you still need ammo to not consume it, as weird as that sounds. But if you ever just completely run out of ammo, you need to buy more. And Funzerker can definitely do that to you, since you can't stop firing.
Glad you made it. Come find me, but be careful. The Torks broke out of their cages. Kill those Torks so we can talk. Now that I think about it, I do remember.
We have a $50 donation from Zenu171. Hey guys and girls, thanks for doing this awesome event. Like always, love all the speedruns and keep on running.
Alright. And we're trying to save these 3 scientists, basically. And unfortunately, they've got a bit of RNG attached to them, and which is odd that there is, but they take random amount of time to actually open their door. So you kind of have to just sit here and wait. So unfortunately, this wall is actually real. So I may have lied a little bit. However, I'll fix that here and right now. That weapon. All right. That would be good in Borderlands 2, and this is not Borderlands 2. It's not saving any time anymore that I failed it, but we'll still go over the wall, because why not? It doesn't hurt. Alright. That skill point isn't necessarily going anywhere special, it's just kind of something that keeps you a little more healthy. But it is nice, it's just not necessarily as needed, or as important as, you know, the fire rate. Excuse me. These are probably the most annoying enemies in the game, because they just constantly follow you and run into you. And if they run directly into your face, you stop moving, and it's bad. They can also give you boosts in a good way, but that's a bit rarer. Let's see, excuse you. That's very rude. Leave me alone. They're absolutely vicious.
No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't have a girl. Not even close.
I should be mostly out of them by now, though. Hopefully. Yeah, we should be fine now.
Let me let you in. Oh, wait. Kill those beasts first.
Alright. Gotta kill a couple of these enemies here. Though it's only 4 specific ones. There we go. And from here, it doesn't really matter what goes on. Also a nice chubby enemy. They don't actually have any spawns for them, so anybody that was expecting a legendary, sorry. They don't actually come from chubbies in this game, but it's still a rare spawn, so that's cool, I guess. Alright. I need at least 3 grenades here, so I'm going to try and get 4. Which, again, I'm abusing the priority system for ammo drops in this game, where it was under half, and then it dropped extra ones for me.
I'll open the way for you, but be careful. Lots of baddies on the other side.
Another big skip is coming up in just a second. Saves probably about 30 seconds. And of course, it goes with totally real walls. We should get that trademarked.
Dr. Langlois. Great. Just rescue the last 2 scientists and we can get you to the eye laser.
Freaking beasts everywhere! I've lost my teddy bear in the lockdown and I lose my mind without it. Bring it back to me! Be careful, those torque assholes!
And, okay. So once this guy opens the door and I don't die to the fire, or die to it anyways, that's fine. Once the door opens, you can do this skip that I'm about to do. However, I got kind of unlucky in the dot that kind of hit me there. I don't actually know what it came from. Probably a barrel. But, yeah. It's not too bad to die there. It's probably only like 30 seconds or so. But Saddlebones is just right on here because the ceiling is very, very well coated and completely there. Then we need to get on top of this wall. Jump around this wall. There we go. And hit a save and Death Warp again.
Nice.
So that was actually one of the first skips that was found in the game. I was just messing around one day and it actually kind of worked. It's just very lucky that they put the save points right on those sides of the wall, or else you just have no other way to actually get in there.
Claptrap, start boot up sequence.
All right.
Protect humanity. Directive 2, obey jacket, all costs. Directive 3, you're super good at fighting, G. I'll let you in.
Yeah. This guy's very eccentric, and he likes yelling a little bit. We won't have to deal with him for too much longer.
Can I have my teddy bear? It calms me down.
Even though that is a Jacob sniper and I do want those through the run, I already have what I need, so I'm not going to go ahead and pick it up. You only have a limited number of slots, and you have so many taken up by axes anyways that it's just better to not pick anything up, especially since money is not an issue with the intro being the way it is.
We have a $30 donation from Converter. As promised, here is $5 from each VAT-off reset.
Nice.
Nice.
That's Doctors Longua and Torres. Just rescue Dr. Grayson and we can lower the Eye of Helios defenses for you.
All right.
So, what comes out of this department anyway?
Pretty much the last section of this area. So just kind of kill a couple another stalkers here, and we should be good to go.
So we gotta be ahead of the curve. Hey,
I don't resent you for...
Hey, Mike.
All right.
Start boot up sequence.
Getting through all that dialogue opens this door, and then we've got the large enemy, I guess, here that doesn't really have a good name to it. But he's got the key card somehow because he ate it. I don't know. So that fight is basically determined just entirely by the RNG that you've gotten in the run in terms of your gun as well as what you get for your action package there. And getting Gun Wizard there is very, very good. It's one of those that you definitely want to see in almost all situations.
Claptrap, start boot up sequence.
Right, so this is the final scientist, and once we've grabbed his little invisibility device, we are good to leave.
Thanks for rubbing it in. Y'all are jerks. You did great. With all the scientists rescued, we can help you get to the eye laser. I'll meet you back at Jack's.
Just wanted to take time to mention one of our sponsors again, Power Up Audio, an indie sound studio from Vancouver, Canada, who's worked on such games as Darkest Dungeon and Delver, and they're here at SGT donating their time and helping out with the sound 24/7. So thanks to them.
All right. So this is another big plot point for the story. This is really where it kind of implies where Jack's mentality is going, because the whole point of this game was to kind of show the backstory of Jack and kind of how he got from a simple programmer at Hyperion into the kingpin boss that he becomes in Borderlands 2. So this kind of really shows where his brutality starts, because the same scientist that we just saved, he's about to murder them. So, well, that was kind of pointless. Though we do get to see them off very quickly because of the dialogue skipping. So right as the bookcase opens, he kind of just already sends them off. So that's kind of cool. In co-op, you can actually get into this area and be with them as they get pulled out into space, because you can get on top of the bookcase and ride it up. That was found pretty quickly. Doesn't do anything, it's just one of those fun things you can do with your friends.
Those defenses back on just as you were walking through. Would have fried you like a skag steak. Think on that.
I want to go home.
And once we turn in the quest here, then I am good to leave again.
You can shut down
Giant Helios. Moxie.
Now that I'm 16 as well, I need to equip the shield I got from Moxie, which gives us the movement speed and fire rate whenever we pick up the boosters. And I don't need to worry about my skill points either until about 18.
To the Hyperion hub of heroism.
I'm gonna grab the grenade here, though.
Hunter, what did you think about that thing with the airlock?
Jack liked the parts of my personality that allow me to feel guilt, but I'm pretty sure that's what I should be feeling about now.
Even after the airlock, you still worked with Jack, as did you. Pandora had to be saved, regardless of how horrifying Jack's decision might have been.
Oh, welcome to the access
The
tunnels.
area coming up is called the Veins of Helios, and it's probably one of the most annoying casual areas, but it's actually really fun in the speedrun. There's a lot of really, really cool...
Oh, no.
Oh, well, nice.
Well, oh.
That should be fine. Give me a second. That's interesting. That's never happened before, so, you know, gotta have it once in the marathon. Let's see, where are we? Okay, that's not too bad. I do have to redo all my glitches, though, so that is a little unfortunate. But that won't take too much time, as long as I have enough axes, which I should at this point. Yeah, I got plenty, so that's acceptable.
What did you...
Okay. Actually.
think about that thing with the airlock?
Jack liked the parts of my personality
Okay. So now we're good.
that allow me to feel guilt, but I'm pretty sure that's what I should be
Hopefully it
feeling
doesn't happen
now.
again. I don't know what's going on with that.
Even after the airlock, you still worked with Jack, as did you. Pandora had to be saved, regardless of how horrifying Jack's...
We have $20 donations from Zerblin. Although Krieg is my absolute favorite Borderlands character, I'm glad to see the franchise represented at GDQ. Thanks for making this possible.
Had to shut him down a while back because of some sort of viral infection.
Another $20 from Marky Mark. Just started playing this game the other day, and I'm already loving it. It's great to see someone absolutely destroy it. Keep up the good work. Cheers.
Good, good. Oh, I was scared that was going to crash again. That would have been awful.
This section of the station suffered some sort of infection a couple of months back. Got locked off from the rest of Helios. The workers may have gone a little, cannibalish.
So most of the enemies I just want to run past here. And as you can kind of see, there's a lot of movement speed buffs that I've got possible for me at the moment. So when I get everything on at once, you move much, much faster. It's very, very noticeable. All right, I actually do want to buy grenades here if I don't get downed in the process. Should be fine, though. There we go. All right, so this is where the big grenade jumps and skips for this area really happen. You're supposed to like jump all over like a bunch of these jump pads and a lot of locations littered around the area. But we're gonna kind of skip most of them with a big grenade jump off this jump pad, which I got. There we go. So you just fly all the way across onto this building right here. And that skips like the entire area. And funny enough, there is a back entrance to this area, and it's actually completely intended. Probably not the way I got there, but see with this dialogue here, they actually expected you to eventually maybe get back here. And it skips a couple fights by going inside, so it's definitely better to do so. Alright. Yep. So this is the last part of this area, and again, it's still got a lot of really cool stuff that's going on with it. So right when you blow all these up, you've got a lot of the pressure gets released in the area, and it actually ends up pulling you out a little bit. If I can actually... Never mind. Didn't actually work there, but that's not the biggest deal. Very minor time loss involved with not getting sucked down to space, which Jack doesn't want you to do, but it's actually really fast to do so. So you have to kind of position yourself right in the area where the panel's going to open so that you get pulled out, which slightly too far right there, but that's fine.
I'm ready on this end. Get to a safe distance, signal me, and I'll blow open a path to the laser.
Another thing to mention is just how good the aimbot of enemies is, because they are ridiculous. Maybe this will hit.
As long as they can see you, they will hit you.
Yeah. In Borderlands 2, it's not nearly as bad as this, but it's just brutal in this one. All right. That's unfortunate, but the spawn point's right behind me, so it's not a huge deal. But I've turned corners with enemies that have snipers and stuff like that, and before I can really tell that there's an enemy there, they just are already shooting you. It gets very, very brutal in a lot of situations, especially with how many like lasers and stuff like that are in this game. So the minute that check mark happens, you can jump off and kind of set yourself up just to get sucked into this area as well with the pressure changes. So it's actually a really cool mechanic that they put in. Check this real quick. That's actually better. I will use that. See, there it is.
I need to test the loaders, so I've just got a few hiding around.
And this area is really where the game just crumbles to pieces. They kind of gave up on a lot of this. It feels like this is really one of those situations where if you want to go out of bounds, you can probably go out of bounds. It doesn't really matter where you want to, you're just probably able to do so. And there will be plenty of examples of that coming up very soon. And hopefully my favorite glitch will happen here too, though it's very, very rare. So we'll see how that goes. I need to switch something else. Nope, alright, didn't happen. So basically, sometimes for no reason whatsoever, Jack decides to just moonwalk there. I don't know why. He just feels like Michael Jackson for a little bit, I guess. He just starts walking backwards. I don't know.
Typical Hyperion laser.
Coming up right now is a skip that was actually found at the event, like yesterday. So that's really, really cool. So accept that quest. I'm going to need to accept both of these because they save a lot of time to do so. And then we're just going to kind of go right up. Oh, hang on. There we go. So we're just going to take a bit of an adventure. There we go. So that saves probably about 10 seconds. I guess I'll go ahead and put that in there. It's starting to bug me.
We're decided. There should be a dull courier. Huh. The eye is right through there.
Initiate lockdown! Raise the force field!
Oh, you're just...
There should be a fusion reactor.
All right. So now I need to hit these 3 sets of power sources, I guess. They're just kind of scattered around. But we've got this wall that it doesn't really exist at all. I don't know how this one got past testing, but it did, so we use it. Because all these power sources are very spread out. So we can just kind of walk out of bounds. It's kind of wonderful. So there's a direct path between all 3 of these, and it's really, really convenient for sure.
Same deal here. Break the coolant, not the red stuff. Butterfingers, huh?
All it takes is a little bit of grenade power. And you are free to go wherever you like.
when you were initially routing this, did you know that all these grenade jumps and such existed, or were these things that you found and just incorporated into the route afterwards?
A lot of stuff is just stuff you search for. I mean, if you're going through an area and you want to go, all right, how can I get here faster? It's just one of those things that just kind of shows up randomly. This specific one is not found by myself, but it's a very good one for sure.
And yeah, knowing most of those mechanics for the skips from Borderlands 2 kind of helps as well.
Right, because they are on the same engine, so a lot of the mechanics carry over between the two games.
There was a lot of, like, you probably knew you could from Borderlands 2, but it wasn't necessarily something that we knew exactly where it was possible. Just because you never know when the developers are actually putting walls that are actually there. But basically the strat that I'm doing right now is I'm actually not doing the main quest at all. I'm going and doing one of the side quests I picked up because if you walk away from the main fight just at all, then most of the enemies will just completely despawn and it's not an issue dealing with them at all. So the main quest is moving on right now. I don't have to worry about that in any way. Yet now I can do this quest right here, which gives me about 23,000 experience, which is about a whole level. So it's a very, very vital thing to the route because of just how much experience this quest gives. It's also one of the biggest potential time losses of the run. If I die at any point in this run, in this quest, it fails, and I have to redo it. And since it's so vital to the run, you have to redo it. So it's just one of those things that it either happens or you lose a bunch of time. So I'm also doing the secondary side quest that I picked up, not because I want to finish it or for experience or anything like that, but just because of the dialogue skips that it's going to offer me in picking up everything. So I just have to deal with a couple waves of enemies here, and then we can finish this area up for good. One of the big problems with Gun Wizard is that you lose a lot of firing time at the very start, and since you heal on hit, basically, anytime that you're not firing, you're not healing, so it's much easier to go down in that time. So getting Gun Wizard is good because you get a lot of fire rate from it, but it's also bad because it can also kill you very, very quickly. So now we just have to wait for this guy to finish. No more enemies are going to spawn. And another 20%, not too bad. But there's really nothing we can really do here to speed anything up. Because if I leave the area too far, then it will also fail. I can't go do even more stuff during this time and get more experience, which would be nice, but it does not work that way, unfortunately. So there we're done with that, and we can pretty much just go through, finish this quest fully, and go through the main quest, which should be done just any second now.
All couriers, if you see one of Jack's bolt hunters, immediately report to a safe rooms. Perfect.
Optimally, this loses 0 seconds to actually do this side quest, which is why it's guaranteed in the route and why it's so vital as well. There's no reason not to, pretty much, with how much experience it gives you. You can kind of see right there how accurate the enemy was. 3 shots that all kind of just hit me.
The way to the laser is open. I'm coming down.
So basically from here to the end is going to be a gigantic boss rush. We're almost done, really and truly, but there is probably about another 30 minutes or so of stuff to go through. We got 3 big bosses and probably a mini boss or 2 in there as well. So
Why would you even build?
It will be split up by a little bit of dialogue, but other than that, we're pretty much just booking it to the end.
Now, go!
Nothing. Okay.
Or that they hadn't built it like an enormous death trap.
Would have been nice to get another rocket launcher here, but there's really no way you can influence any of the vendor RNG that we know of, at least. And if it is, it's probably completely frame perfect, and there's no way that'll ever be performed by a human. So, especially without any access to like emulators or anything like that, it's just never going to happen. So here's the face-off for the boss introduced at the very start of the run. You finally get to see her in person and actually take her on face-to-face. There are two main phases to this boss. There's this one right here, which is kind of the mech phase. I'm actually going to down myself on purpose here, maybe. Yeah, there we go. One, so I can get out of Funzerker because it's just so bad for your ammo. And two, so I can actually get the damage bonus. So that was completely intended. But basically, how fast this fight goes just is completely RNG. Because if you get Mecha Magician, it goes by in an instant. Or if you get Gun Wizard or something like that. If you get something like Meat Unicycle or something silly like that, Minion Trap, or you're just not going to be going very quickly. So then, all right, there was good RNG, but I got down, so I don't have it anymore. It's kind of unfortunate. Not much I could have done there, though. Almost done, though. Unfortunately, our launcher is not amazing, so it is taking quite a while, but we'll be done very, very soon. There we go. One of the worst parts about this boss, though, especially for casual players, is that she tends to throw all of her loot all the way off of the map, so you tend to not see very many drops from her specifically. Though there is another phase that is a little nicer about that.
Give me a second to catch my breath here, and we'll shut down the lead.
And this is the kind of human phase of this fight, and I'd say it's a little bit easier. I think she's got a little less health outside of the mech.
We have a $50 donation from Zabrin. First time watching live and donating. Woke up early for the Digimon run because childhood. Thank you for hosting such an awesome event for such a great cause. Humanity needs all the help it can get these days. Also, kill the animals. Nothing beats a perfectly explosion-fried animal.
It's also kind of silly that she even has a shield because it just goes away in 2 seconds. I need to down myself again here. Maybe. Or I can just switch to something like this. There you are. I just can't allow myself to run out of rocket ammo, or it's just going to be a big problem. Though at this point, it's really not too bad. It's just this fight would take so much longer without it. So it's really good that I stopped myself right there. All right, she's dead.
Hold your fire. I'm not done with her yet.
It doesn't matter what happens today.
We have a $50 donation from Digital Hobo. Watch GDQ every time it comes on. Thank you for many hours of entertainment, and good luck with the runs.
I've seen what lies inside it. You
Wait,
can't.
wait. You've seen inside it? The vault's open?
You must turn back. The power within the vault would trigger a chain of events.
And now she's actually dead.
The vault's already open, huh? Cool. Now let's deal with that laser core.
But it really does just kind of show the character progression that they tried to show, with Jack really becoming that villain that he's just so famous for in Borderlands 2. And this is the final point in the run where it kind of slows down a lot. You've just got a lot of dialogue in this final part, and it's pretty much the last time that you have to skip any long sections. So from here in the end, it's basically just the sprint.
And this is
So take some time to mention one of our sponsors, Something Artistic, which offers gaming-inspired decals and stickers made to decorate consoles, walls, computers, and more. $2 from every decal sold this week will be donated directly to Doctors Without Borders. Some designs were donated just for SGDQ and available this week only. The Games Done Quick Logo 2015 logo decals are being offered, where the full decal purchase price is being donated to MSF. Go to somethingartistic.net or decal.ly.
And here's the big reveal that shows exactly what Jack's been doing to be able to destroy the moon.
Because I'm awesome.
It's basically the eye of the boss of Borderlands 1, for those of you familiar.
It was a weapon already. All the Iridian remnants are. I just figured out how to use it.
And skipping all of that doesn't really save too much, since the eye actually has to finish firing before anything new will happen.
Press the thingy until you see.
Of course. Is it just me?
And here's kind of a weird dialogue skip that happens. I don't know why, but that dialogue just kind of gets overwritten by the echo instead of actually skipping, so it just kind of skips itself whenever the voice changes like that. It's the only situation where this really happens in the run. So it just kind of shows the inconsistency between everything within this game.
See? Just like I said. With that failsafe tripped, we can reboot, and then the laser will be all yours.
Wait! Don't press that button!
What's wrong?
If the eye starts acting weird,
Another big potential time loss here that can happen is if you leave this area too early, you have to run all the way back through, because you can't return to this fast travel. So you have to kind of wait for Jack to actually start talking and say, all right there, before moving on. So now we can start save quitting again to skip all the dialogue and actions of Jack here. There's a big cutscene right there that got skipped by the save quit, where kind of the station gets destroyed. And once you turn that in, we will get our final buff up for the run, using the same glitch from before. And we're off to the next boss. Though I do need to potentially buy ammo, actually. I have to come here to do that, actually. Because I only have one rocket right now, and if I use that to get infinite ammo, I can't shoot it anymore. So I do need to come here real quick. Just for a short detour. Nothing too crazy. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and set up infinite ammo right now, and then we will go from there. Oops.
Perhaps I should test one.
All right. So right here, I'm actually picking the first car because it is, again, faster. And as long as you don't have to go over certain obstacles or something like that, then this car is much, much faster over any stretch of land. Plus, you get to do cool tricks like that.
Hold up.
It's all about the style points, right?
Before the mighty Cybertruck. Feels good to watch out. Here we are. Have fun.
Here's how it is. You search that site for a way into the vault. We go
This is kind of the point in the run where things get a little crazy too, because it's the point where the enemies really, really start to outscale you very, very heavily, and that can be a bit of a problem, seeing as you can die very quickly. So, especially since I don't have my probe merged right now, that means that I can't heal if someone actually does enough damage to me, which may happen right here. Looks like we'll be fine though. Nothing that the enemies have is too dangerous.
So, since Sarpachik is dead, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some loaders your way. Moonshot's pinpointing you right now. Try not to be standing under the supply
And
fire. You don't want to do
perfect
that.
timing on that one. This is probably the most annoying action package. However, we now have hardest dialogue skip or cutscene skip in the game, and by that, it's not. You can just go over that wall there, and the cutscene that's supposed to play doesn't actually play. It's kind of silly. Because it's supposed to be introducing the Guardians and what they are. But it's slow, so we like to go fast in speedrunning. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to be setting up something to make sure this boss is not a factor. Because back when this game was being routed for the first time, he was very, very scary. And to the point where it was a 3-4 hour run back then, and basically there'd be a bunch of 4-hour races where he would just straight up murder you. So with all this merging that's gone on, I now have this super gun that you should definitely not use the scope for. But ooh, that's actually good. But this will kind of make short work of this boss. We fought this guy at level 20, and you would still probably die. So keep that in mind when you kind of see the health bar move.
I mean, he's kind of like in Borderlands 2. There's a boss called the Bunker, and he's the new, or maybe the older version of it.
Yeah, only a billion times worse. Because he actually has a high chance of actually killing you. However, with this, he kind of just melts. So right now I've got about a 320% extra critical damage. So it's kind of a relatively simple fight. Not bad at all.
I don't want any survivors. You blow that ship to hell, and you do it now.
All right. And we're good.
Yes. Push forward. I'll meet you down there. We're getting close. I can feel it.
Here we go. All right. This area's got a really... Really? All right. I don't even know what hit me. So that's probably well, no, that's a death.
Yeah.
Oh well. It happens. Like I said, this is the point in the run where it gets hard again, because the enemies are like 9-10 levels above you. So the damage reduction that you're having to deal with is just massive. All right, So back to my point, this area has a very, very big and cool skip that it does. The layout of the area is that it's got a big spiral around this kind of central location, and you can kind of jump down through this big chasm. The problem is that there's a bunch of death walls in the way. So if you jump in the wrong way, you're dead. It's just that simple. It's very difficult for beginners to actually do this jump correctly. And it pretty much skips the entire area.
What's that? It looks like a shield of some kind. A shield blocking the way.
You really have to know exactly where the death planes are and how to avoid them.
Find a way to futz with it.
Those Eternals, I'm trying to make sure they drop their weapons because they always spawn with a laser, and once they get under a certain point in their health, they drop those weapons, and it makes them so much less of a threat at this point in the run.
This is where we make our last stand! For TheFuncannon! Oh, get used to it. Such a stupid name. Oh my god.
So right here, we kind of have to open this gate here, and you're supposed to kill the guy on the cannon and then fire it yourself. But if you let him shoot it for you, it saves time. Plus, then you can get a boost off of him shooting you. So that's much better to do that rather than take him out and get on yourself. And as of now, we are going into the final area of the game. There are 2 fights left, and we're good to go after this cutscene. Primarily through this area, I'm going to be using my shotgun more than my launcher, simply because with the extra critical damage from the snipers, it does more damage than even launcher would, just because of how strong shotguns really are. So the only instances where that won't be the case is when there is an enemy that I cannot crit, meaning the final boss. There are many situations in which you cannot crit the final boss, which is not my favorite feature. And there's a nice little grenade jump to get directly to this mini-boss here. Instead of going through the entire area, you can just go around a wall because they didn't put anything to stop you from doing so. But this fight is completely required. If you get up to the top, which you can do very easily, and try to go directly to the final boss, it won't happen. You have to actually fight this guy first. So now I'm just trying to aim for the head as much as possible. That's a very, very good fight. Very nice.
Nice, yeah.
And then right here, I'm actually going to have to take out a lot of these enemies that are following me, because there's a big problem in the final boss fight where if I don't kill a certain number of these, they don't despawn in that fight, meaning that it just wastes a ton of time if you die or go down into fight for your life, because the game runs off of an enemy limit, where if there are too many, it won't spawn more. So you'll be in the final fight trying to get up off of something, and there just won't be anything. And killing everything just makes everything so much safer. So now we can just grenade jump up onto the upper level here and just go straight to the final boss.
This looks dangerous. You should go first.
This guy has a total of, I think, 7 phases in general. The first couple are the same, and then the last couple are the same, and it kind of split into 2, main sections, I guess. There's this kind of humanoid section, and then he gets a lot bigger and kind of a little less mobile. There wasn't a lot of creativity with him necessarily because the first 4 are the exact same and the next 4 are the exact same. The only difference is the elements involved. So it's just kind of making sure you don't die here and trying to get really good RNG, which so far so good. That's a very good one to get. Right. This can be a bit of a long fight, but it is definitely it's not that bad, really and truly. It's only about a 5-minute fight optimally, but it is unfortunately varies greatly with RNG, since you're just trying to hope for a Mecha Magician in there somewhere. Every time you get it, it saves probably 10, 15, 20 seconds. It's just that vital. And the next section goes by a lot quicker as well, because you can actually crit the next section. This is the one that you actually cannot.
Also, all these smaller minions spawn during this fight, so it makes it easier when you go down. You actually have somebody else to kill.
Yeah. It's having these guys spawn is the whole goal of killing the other enemies earlier. Because, if these guys don't spawn, then it's pretty much over. If you go down and you can't actually cycle the final boss here, which that's actually a death. All right, that's unfortunate. That was my own fault. I should have been focusing on the side minions there.
Get back out there, and this time keep your goddamn head down.
If you ever die in the middle of the fight, it brings you back to the first fight of the main sections. So I'm back at the big first purple stage. Well, that's a nice sorry from the game. So as you can tell, it's going much, much quicker if I actually get this skill. It's just so much better than everything else you can get. Increases your damage by so much. I went from 1800s to about 500, so that's a huge difference. There we go. I almost died right there. That would have been bad. Right at the start. Would have been bleeding out during this entire section.
And in these phases, the attacks are all similar, right? It's just the element that is the thing that changes, right?
Yes, that's correct. It's essentially the same until the next phase, or yeah, the one right after this one. he'll actually not have a shield after this one, and it's just there's slightly different attacks between each phase. It's not exactly the same, but there's not a whole lot different, really and truly. Oh, nice. That's actually really, really good there. I got level up, and I mentioned earlier that it gives you double damage, so that's really, really huge. So, there we go. That's the first half down. One more to go, and this one's the easier one.
And it's also a checkpoint at this point. So.
Yeah, exactly. If I die now, I start here, rather than back at the full start of everything. But in theory, it should be fine, because each phase goes by much, much quicker from this point on. All right.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, it was fun while it lasted. You at least can see just the power of how much damage you're actually doing with the weapon merging, and just how big of a find it really was when it actually was found. You can't get crits nearly as well against the masks right here, but you can still shoot through the mask every once in a while, so that's at least a bonus. And there we go. There's one more left. And it's probably the scariest one, because Claptrap takes extra damage from corrosive, and that happens to be the phase that we're going into. So there is still a potential for death, though not very high at the moment. You can really tell that I've stood in the corrosive pool, just with how much damage is being done to me. All right, we're done. Time is coming up very soon. There we go.
Claptrap, start boot up sequence. Directive 1, protect humanity.
Oh, that.
Claptrap,
And time.
Big
Nice.
bastard, wasn't he? Nicely done.
Nuts.
Keep an eye out for that creature.
Good run, man.
I don't want to get interrupted.
Thanks.
What? That's it? That little thing. The hell did...
All right, so that's Borderlands 3 sequel. Did the last incentive get met? All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of that. That way we can get right into that, because that's a completely unskippable cutscene there. And it takes a couple minutes. So what we're going to show you right here is something that's a little entertaining. It was found by one of my buddies when we were first playing this game. Level 100 Caterpie, shoutouts to that guy. And basically there are these enemies back in Triton Flats that have some interesting properties when they get hit by a car. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's easiest to do with the Stingray here. And let's get one to spawn real quick. There we go. Now, if you hit him in the right spot, let's see. This one's always hard to get it on. There we go. All right, he's going into space.
He's gone, yeah.
I don't actually know where he went. All right. So, up. Let's do some more. Because why not? It's a little bit easier on these guys. And again, they just kind of launch off into space because you're not already in space. Let's see if I can get one more. Yep, there it goes. All right, I guess I've probably got a little bit more time. I can also kind of show off a couple out of bounds that are useless but kind of cool nonetheless. Here in Serenity's Waste, it'll kind of show you the power of the Stingray. Basically, you could probably go through just about any wall if you can get stuck kind of like that-ish. It didn't work. But if I do this just right, you can already see kind of how the vehicle's a little freaking out about what's going on. I haven't gotten it yet, but come on. Wow. This is the longest this has ever taken me. Put me there. Come on. There it is. All right, so here we are in the ceiling where we're definitely not supposed to be. And it's basically just that the Stingray's kind of, whenever you're getting out of a vehicle, it tries to place you to the nearest location where there's actually travelable ground, and that happens to be inside the ceiling, and now we're underneath the moon. So you can also kind of get under the map just like that, and there's everything just kind of laid out for you. So yeah, I guess that's pre-sequel for you.
That was Borderlands, the pre-sequel by TheFuncannon. Right now, we're going to have a word from our sponsor, Tiny Build Games. So, hope you stick with us. And we have some awesome games headed on the schedule. So,